Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to our channel. We're so glad you're here. If you're new here, I'm Megan.
I'm Dwayne.
And we are the Blended Family Marriage Coaches. That's who we are and what we do. Today we're going to be talking about Disney parenting. If you've been in a blended family at all, you've definitely heard this term. If you've been on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere searching for parenting or step parenting guidance, blended family guidance, you have heard the term Disney parenting. But I am here to challenge you. What about a Disney marriage?
Ooh, Disney marriage.
Disney marriage. For the best advice on your blended family marriage, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, right?
Right.
And ring the bell.
Ding dong.
So that way you'll be notified every time we post a new tip, trick, or help or tool to help your blended family marriage. We do that every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
So that means that you guys way over on the East Coast, you get to watch us right before you go to bed. Those of you guys here, watch us before dinner, watch us during dinner. Just watch us. So have you been to Disney? I already know the answer to this question. We're married. Fun fact, we've never been to Disney together.
We have not.
I have been to Disneyland several times.
Right.
And you've only been to Disney World, right?
Only to Disney World, yes.
So it was magical. It is everything that it's advertised to be.
That's for sure.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely.
It's super cool. It's a lot of fun. People talk about the Dole Whip. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
It's like a whip. I don't like it because I don't like pineapple, but it's like this whipped cream almost, but it tastes like pineapple.
Interesting.
It's supposed to be really yummy. The churros, people talk a lot about the food you can get from Disneyland, and it's amazing. The rides are thrilling. The little different worlds are way cool to walk into. I remember when my girls were really little going there and they were way obsessed with is it the Mickey Land or whatever, where Pluto and the original characters, and it's designed for the little ones. And at that time Toy Story had just come out, so that was a really big thing, and you could ride in the car and shoot all the things. My kids still remember trying to ride the little cars around the track, and me and my ex-husband, we were getting really frustrated with them because we weren't going nearly as fast, but we have so many fun memories of Disney. What about you?
We went to Disney World right after I had gotten back from Iraq, and ended up going to 5 different parks. 5 parks. 5 parks in 5 days, but the little...
Dwayne's first throw into single parenting was at Disney World with 5 different parks. That was his first... He was literally the Disneyland dad.
That I was. But the little coupon thing that I had, I couldn't return to the same park. So I went to 5 parks in 5 days.
So we talk about these experiences, right? And then when we talk about Disney parents, I just made a joke about Dwayne being the original Disney parent. Literally, he had just come home from Iraq. He needed to reconnect with his kids. Dwayne is an amazing parent. He's not a Disney parent. So let's talk about that for a minute. What's a Disney parent? It's basically somebody who only does the fun things.
Right.
They feed the kids the Dole Whip and the churros, and they don't worry about the repercussions of the sugar rush. They pay for the big things, they do the fun things, but when it comes to the day-to-day monotony of parenting, they aren't there. Or if they are, they're doing it very fun and non-committal.
Right.
The homework doesn't get done with the Disney parents. The discipline doesn't happen from the Disney parents. And usually it's a parenting style out of guilt. So that's what a Disney parent is. What does that all have to do with marriage, though? We teach our couples that come through our enrichment course, we teach so many couples to always look for the best.
Right.
You noticed when we described our Disneyland experiences, you didn't hear about the sugar rushes or the meltdowns of the children, the crowds.
Right.
Let's be real. A lot of the time in Disney is spent waiting in line.
Right.
Probably the majority. If you're
About
there
75.
for a day, 75% of that day is spent waiting in line.
Probably. Yeah.
You don't hear about that, though. When we remember Disneyland, we don't talk about the kids' tantrums or the waiting in lines or the heat.
Right.
Let's be real. It's in Southern California or Florida. It is always hot.
Right.
And to be in line with these kids and all the pressure, and And Dwayne, he lost one of his kids at Disney World.
She was found.
Nobody talks about those kind of adventures.
Right.
Because you always focus on the positive.
Right.
But it's funny because when it comes to our marriage, we always focus on the negative.
Right.
It's really easy for us to pull out the negative. So when we're at Disneyland or at Disney World, whatever park we might happen to be enjoying at the moment, we don't focus on the negatives.
Right.
We don't focus on the things that are bad, that are going wrong, that honestly, the majority of our time spent there are the negatives.
Right.
They really are. Even the neutral times, you guys, I don't do well in heat and humidity, so even the neutral times, I can very easily make them negative. And it becomes so easy to make the neutral times even beautiful and magical and amazing because you're at the happiest place on earth.
Right.
It's hard to be sad. But what if you do the same thing to your marriage? The truth is that the majority of your time in marriage is neutral.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's not bad. It's not great. It's not horrendous. It's neutral. But what we do in our marriages, what we see so often in the counsels that we couple, is that they focus on the negative. So the neutral even becomes negative.
Right.
So the majority of the time then becomes negative. So in Disney, the neutral becomes good and exciting and amazing. But in a marriage relationship, the neutral becomes negative. And that's so detrimental to your marriage. That's so detrimental to your spouse because that's when the nagging happens. That's when, you only focus on the bad things. And when somebody asks you, oh, how's Megan doing? Oh, she's all right. But in reality, your marriage really isn't that bad. Right. You're not in a valley. So have you guys done that? Do you guys focus on the negative? Can you guys relate to that you feel like even the neutral is bad?
Right.
Even the neutral has these negative connotations to them, as opposed to if you put it like a Disneyland marriage, where even the neutral is exciting because we're in the happiest place on earth. Can you guys see that? Do you guys do that? Let us know in the comments below if that's something that you've made a habit of doing, or if you've been very intentional in making even the neutrals positive, and how you can go about seeing the best in your spouse. How have you guys applied this to your own marriage? I'm curious. Let us know in the comments below.
So another way to make your marriage a Disney marriage is to always assume the best. You never, even if your spouse messes up, just assume that they really intended to do the right thing, to attend to the best
intentions.
Best intentions. It's so hard in our marriage. I'll be the first one to admit sometimes I'll do something that I think is the right thing, and in retrospect, maybe it wasn't the right decision or right way to say something, but my intentions were good, and we really need to assume the best of our spouse and not assume that they meant ill intent, and just keeping that in mind about Disney. When you're at, like we talked about it, when you're at Disney, you always assume the best. Like even in the
even in the lines,
right? Even in the lines, you still expect the best, and we really need to apply that same attitude to our marriage.
Right. We wait in these long lines in Disney, and they wrap them around like back and forth,
Forever.
And you're in this line for literally ever, but you never think, that's not what you remember.
Right.
That's not what you look back on, because Disney does have the best of intentions to get as many people through this ride or attraction or whatever as they possibly can in the shortest amount of time. And you see that, you see the different attractions while you're waiting in line, like the movie screen playing or the cool special effects or whatever.
Right.
So Disney definitely has the best of intentions in making you wait in line.
Right.
Just like your spouse has the best of intentions when something negative or something poor comes out of their mouth. They really have the best intentions.
Right.
And always assume that.
Right.
Don't assume, well, you meant that on purpose. You always hurt my feelings, or you're just trying to bully me or build me down.
Right.
Assume, okay, so what did you really mean by that, Mark? Because this is how it felt, and this is how I received it. What did you really mean?
Right.
And always assume the best from your spouse. So, have you guys ever hung around with the person that you think, holy cow, even if you went to Disneyland or Disney World and had the most magical day ever, you would find something to complain about.
Ooh, I know some people like that.
I know. Like you were like, okay, this is horrendous. Like you made the most magical place on earth the most depressing place on earth. Never mind. I was going to go to a Friends reference, but I won't go there. Okay, I will. You remember when Ross would like walk in and he'd be like, "Hi." Remember?
Yeah.
Like, and because he was always so depressed.
Right.
Like, Ross in that moment could make Disneyland depressing. And nobody really wants to be friends with him.
Right.
Nobody really wants to hang out with him. And I'm not saying, like, clinical depression is something to laugh at. But in reality, it's so easy to pick the negative out.
Right.
And we come around these people that are, like... They find the negative in anything. Right. You can give them something. You can give them $1 million, but they're going to complain about the taxes they have to pay on it.
Right.
Like
I had a situation like that.
Right.
One time at work, we got a bonus check, and the guy was like, "Yo, this is going to push me into a new tax bracket." I'm like, "Okay, give me the money then."
Right. Anyways, so we bring that back to our marriage, right? How many times do you talk to your friends negatively about your spouse? First of all, nobody wants to be around that person. Right. Honestly, I'm just being real. If you are clinically depressed and you really are having a hard time finding the light of day in your day-to-day activities, please reach out.
Right.
Please get help.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm talking about the negative Nancys that bring every situation down. They spin it for bad.
Right.
They just need everybody to hear how horrible their life is. Mm-hmm. And we do that with our spouses.
Right.
We actually do that more often with our spouses than we do with anything else. So imagine, if you will, your best friend comes back from Disneyland and you cannot wait to hear about it. You cannot wait to hear about the new rides that you haven't experienced because you haven't been there in forever. You can't wait to see it through a person's eyes that's never been there before. Mm-hmm. You can't wait to see it through their kids' eyes that are just like so excited that they got the princess makeover or whatever. But your friend comes back and all they talk about is how much it cost and
the long lines.
How long the lines were. And do you know how much those Dole Whips cost? And those churros, they're huge, but they're expensive. And it just gave my kids this sugar rush. And they were throwing a fit in the Peter Pan line. And can you imagine? Like, that's devastating for somebody. Nobody really does that. In reality, very few people do that. But how common is it for you to say, hey, how's your spouse? And they, oh, it's okay. He won't do this. She won't do that. Or... just another day in paradise. How many times do we hear those phrases? But you will be amazed how much your marriage improves if you change that phrase to, she's amazing. That's right, Dwayne. Say that often.
She's amazing. She is.
He's incredible. I can't wait to go home to them. There are times when we have valleys. Don't get me wrong. Everything's not perfect. But you know what? Those peaks, those are incredible. Right. Mm-hmm. We have a great marriage. I can't wait to get home to her at the end of the day. I can't wait to get home to him at the end of the day. How much your marriage changes when you can reflect on to what is good.
Right, for sure.
How much the experience changes when you look for things in your spouse, but you can brag about them later. You know, that's just an amazing thing to be able to do. And it helps to not only cultivate a good marriage, but also good relationships. It allows you to be the example of what a marriage should be. Right. It allows you to cultivate a feeling of appreciation in their relationships. They're going to say, oh man, that Dwayne, he's so positive. I want to go talk to him more. Right. And Dwayne has actually seen this reflected in his workplace. People say all the time, not everybody can have a husband like Dwayne. And they're right. Not everybody can. I get to have that. And when you can brag on your spouse to that level, it changes the dynamic. It changes how people look at you. It changes how people look at your marriage. And it changes how your marriage is at home. Right. So focus on the good, I guess, is the whole point of this entire video. Right. Focus on the positive things. Don't focus on the negative things. Treat your spouse like Disneyland. Don't Disney parent. I don't encourage that at all. But treat Disney married, Disney spouse, Disney marriage. What's the parent and spouse? I don't know. do that. You guys, this is what we get to do all day long.
Right.
We get to help other marriages, other couples bring their blended family marriage from this ho-hum, boring Disneyland line into an enriched marriage that's made for more, that's made to leave a legacy to their children. We have a very interactive Facebook group that I would love to invite you to be a part of. The link, it will be in the comments below. We also have an exciting opportunity for you guys to work with us, not just in our marriage enrichment program, which if that's something that you want, I'll throw the link in below, but also in our book launch. You guys, we're looking to build our book launch team. I am super excited about this. It's going to be like a book study. We're going to go through chapter by chapter. We're going to answer the questions together in a big interactive Facebook group. If you're interested in this at all, please click the link below. I will title it something that will make it obvious what it is. Click that link below and make sure that you reach out to us and tell us that you want in on our big book launch party.
Right.
We are so excited about this to offer that opportunity for those of you that want to work with us in getting our book out there, getting our book published, but as well as enrich your marriage, because you're the people that I wrote the book for.
Right.
You guys are the ones who can benefit from this, and I'm so excited to put it into your hands. This is no obligation to you. You don't have to pay for it. You get my book for free, and you get me giving you all of the details and working through the tools one by one in the book. I'm so excited about that, you guys. So make sure to click below. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked this video.
Right.
Comment below. Let us know. Like I said, do you look for the best in your spouse, or are you constantly looking for the long lines and the expensive prices?
Right.
Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out a lot. And ring the bell.
Ding dong.
So that way you'll be notified every time we post a new video. Thanks again, guys. We sure love you.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.